Hello, I'm Sash.
I am Shadow. I work in the shadows to hunt the shadows.
And welcome to our reading of Steins Gate Zero. If this is your first time here, the link to the entire playthrough from the beginning is in the card at the top. Last time, World War III happened. Okabe has to make his way out of the ruins of Tokyo to an American military base. Can the American forces be trusted? Are there Soviet forces? Or do they want Reno Saturn for their own imperialist needs?
Anonymous at Security Council. The USSR starts experimenting with time machines and America goes apeshit. Give me the time machine! USSR, but I refuse! Eastern powers and Soviets get cocky. How's it feel to be you right now, huh? How's it feel? This brings us to the end of your regularly scheduled Cold War. USA, I'ma bomb you from Japan, lol lol lol. USSR, then we'll invade Japan. Us, shit, right now. USSR is kicking ass. Hokkaido and Northeast Japan are screwed. Are they coming for Central Japan now? People of Nagoya, get the fuck out. Amateurs who know nothing about strategy need to shut the fuck up. The SDF may look like they're retreating, but they've actually got a defensive line at Mount Fuji. They're about to start a counterattack. The Mount Fuji line, Lamau. Who the hell is dumb enough to believe Japanese Imperial High Command, Raffle?
Raffle.
We better not start hearing calls for kamikaze pilots soon. Shut up, noob. Idiots like you are the real threat to Japan. Wait, what the hell happened to the collective right of self-defense? America's only interested in protecting Okinawa. So what the hell's the FCF doing getting set off to Siberia? Or are they supposed to protect the country? You protect it, Chicken Hawk. You want to fight? Go volunteer. They say they aren't getting enough recruits. Are they going to start conscription soon, you think? What's the point of conscripting a bunch of fat otaku? They just get in the way. What do these days require professional soldiers? Well, when you're desperate, anything'll do. Says the fat otaku who doesn't want to go to war. Hi! There are barely any professional soldiers left in Japan. Our masters in America sent them all around the globe and then stuck them there. You guys will probably be getting your conscription notices soon. Good luck. I'm a chick, so I don't care. Oh, in this age of equality, they'll conscript women now too.
Listen, even if it wasn't. Girl, you don't have any male friends? You don't have any brothers or uncles or father? Bro. Have some empathy.
Yeah. In other words, if we get sex change, we don't have to go, right? The real enemies of Japan are its own citizens, huh, asshole? So seriously, are we going to split up like Germany? Oh, I guess the Berlin Wall didn't come down.
Oh.
If they're talking about being split up like Germany.
Well, they might be referring to history. I hope they're referring to history, because that's not good.
Yeah.
Then again, if the USSR is still active.
Then it's likely. They say there's a provisional government forming in Okinawa. They're all set to abandon East Japan and just have America protect the West. Those incompetents in the government might honestly do it. Is it really the time to bash politicians? Traitorous shill. Traitor lol. Shill lol. Strategically, America can't let go of Okinawa, and Japan wants to keep some kind of government. That means that making provisional government in Okinawa is the best option. You bashed the hell out of Okinawa up until now, and now you're telling us this? Shut up, traitor. So, if I'm a traitor, what are you? If you're posting on that channel right now, that means you either fled the country or are in Okinawa. Is this today's You Don't Get to Talk thread? The reason it took a month to get to Okinawa was that we were losing this war. Supposedly, the plan had been to ferry me by plane to Okinawa once I'd arrived at Aruma Base. But the constant bombing had slowed us down, so they gave up on the plane and decided I would escape to Kyushu by ground. There was more than one attack by Soviet spies and assault teams. Some of the SDF soldiers protecting me died, but when I got to Sasebo, I was able to get on a maritime SDF escorted ship and managed to escape to Okinawa. Why were they doing all this for me? No matter how many times I asked, no one would answer. Okinawa in winter was covered in thick clouds. Come to think of it, I hadn't seen a real break in the clouds for a whole month. Nuclear winter, maybe? I was thinking about that when I was loaded into a van with dark tinted windows that had come to pick me up from the port. Inside the car was not only the driver, but a middle-aged man sitting in the front passenger seat. He was very short, perhaps only around 150 centimeters tall, but he had the air of a military veteran, and even though he was fully dressed, I could tell he was extremely muscular.
Tiny tanks, my beloved.
And also, you're short, you're harder to get shot. Smaller target and all that. Okabe Rintaro-kun, correct? I'm Shimoyama, with the Ministry of Defense's Intelligence Security Command. We're going to make a stop at the airport, and then head to the Okinawa Defense Bureau in Kadena. I'm sure you're tired from your long journey, but I'll have to ask you to hang in there a while longer. Right. I'd heard that Tokyo had been destroyed. The major functions of the Japanese government were now headquartered out of the Okinawa Defense Bureau to allow for better cooperation with the American forces stationed nearby. That's what Shimoyama explained to me. In other words, the place I was heading to was the core of Japan's defenses. Once I arrived, would I understand why I was so important that all those soldiers were willing to die to protect me? I'm betting time travel, machine. The car stopped in front of Naha Airport for a while, and then I saw a surprising pair get aboard.
Okabe-san.
Well, it's really Okuri-san.
You're Yuki-san and Nakase-san. I wasn't expecting to see them there, but they were the first people I knew who I'd met since coming to this world line. That alone was almost enough to make me cry. But still, I couldn't just sit there and be happy. What about Mayuri? Do you know where she is?
She's fine.
Yuki nodded, as if trying to make me feel better.
She was just with us.
Just with you?
That's right. Mayushi and Romeo-chan and Luka-kun and Hayaki-chan.
We got to the airport this morning. We were all waiting because they said we could go to some place called the Defense Bureau, where we'd be safe. They just said they'd take the Luka-chan and me there first.
And then they had us get inside this car, where we found you.
Anyway, I'm glad everybody's safe. Since Daru and Suzuha weren't mentioned, I was going to ask about them, but... Sorry, but can you talk about this later? Shimoyama cut me off, and the car started moving. The plan is for your families to arrive at the Okinawa Defense Bureau eventually. We already have them under our protection. Hopefully this isn't all a Soviet op.
Yeah. Really? I'm so glad.
I don't trust that they've got separated from the others.
Yeah. Your other friends are all in the car behind us. You haven't been separated, so don't worry. I took a quick look and saw another identical van a little behind us. So, Mayuri and the others were there?
Then we'll see them later, right?
Of course. Yuki let out a sigh of relief. But then, I started to wonder about something else. Why were we split up to different cars? This van could hold at least another 3 people. If we squeeze tight, we could easily hold everyone. Well, it's because if one of you gets blown up by an RPG, you don't lose the entire convoy. It's an eggs basket problem. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, but the problem is there is one very extremely important egg.
Yes. Or was there some reason they put me, Yuki, and Fubuki in the same car? Well, if they wanted to take Okabe and they knew anything about him, they would have put Mayushi in the same car as him. So if they take the car, Okabe won't go anywhere without Mayuri.
Yeah.
So if they were planning to kidnap Okabe, they would have to take both cars, but if they put those two in one car, they would only have to take one car and only protect one car. The car drove along the Okinawa monorail for a while, and then we went south down a wide bypass. It's so dark.
Huh? What was that?
Nothing. Just... there are all these stores, but they're all dark. There were lots of franchise restaurants, big supermarkets, cafeterias for tourists, and rent-a-car places all jammed together along the sides of the road. But all of them were dead silent, and their lights were turned off. Well, maybe not. There's just no power.
Well, considering everyone's fucking dead.
Yeah. Barely any of the street lights were turned on, and the only cars were Japanese and US military vehicles. I didn't see anyone out walking. That's because they have a brain in their head.
Even so, I imagine this is pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Like half an hour ago, he was looking at a normal city.
Well, it's been a month for him. They said took him a month to get out of Tokyo, basically.
I thought he meant it would take a month for him to change the world line.
No, it took them literally a month because the planes they couldn't get on a plane, basically. So they've had to go the entire way by car, sneaking through ditches and all that fun stuff. There's a blackout in effect, as well as a curfew past 5 p.m. Okinawa may be safe, but this is still wartime. Things can't be like they were. I can't wait for the war to end and everything to go back to normal. Well, that'll be a long time, considering the state Tokyo was in. Wartime, huh? Tell me, Okabe-kun, the Okinawa you knew was a bright, fun place, even at night, wasn't it? Oh, I wouldn't know. I've never been to Okinawa before. That's a shame. Then I pray you get to come back for a good vacation sometime. This really is a nice island. The car headed up from the bypass over a land bridge, and then to another road. We quickly came to a long tunnel.
I actually wanted to ask the three of you some questions before we got to the bureau. That's why I have you riding with me.
Huh?
I am sus. My guess was right. That meant there was something he wanted to ask just the three of us. But why us three? I wasn't particularly close to Yuki or Fubuki. But all three of them are close to Mayuri.
All three of them are close to Mayuri.
Yeah.
And Fubuki also had reading Steiner.
Yeah. Maybe Yuki does too, and she's just never mentioned it.
Maybe.
I'd only even started talking to them a few months ago. And then I shook my head. That was before the world line changed. Maybe things were different in this world line. I had no idea what my relationship was to anyone else in this world line. Well, they know you, so that's a good plus. Yeah, that's a start. Since the STF had been treating me so well, I didn't want to make Shimoyama suspicious. I decided it would be best to leave most of the talking to Yuki and Fubuki.
Mane Yuki-san.
Yes?
Shimoyama spoke to Yuki first. Yuki went stiff when her name was called. I could feel it even sitting next to her.
You don't know where Hashida Ataru-kun and his little sister are, do you?
Little sister? So Suzuha's in this timeline.
Mm-hmm.
That must be Suzuha. That would mean that even in this world line, Suzuha had come back from the future and gotten to know Yuki and the others while pretending to be Daru's sister. And the STF evidently didn't know where Daru and Suzuha were. That could be the other thing. They're looking for Daru and Suzuha.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would be the major shit disturbers.
No,
Yuki fell silent and glanced over to me, as if expecting help. But I didn't know where they were either. I didn't even have any memories of this world line, so I had no way of answering. Well, that's one good thing too. Like, he couldn't, like, if Okabe is the head of the resistance, right now he can't leak any information because he literally knows nothing. But Yuki's attitude bothered me. It was as if she knew where they were and was deliberately hiding it, and that I was supposed to be hiding it too. If I could figure that out, I'm sure Shimoyama could too. A strange tension filled the car. Yuki was trying to hide it? From whom?
Huh? You sure you don't know?
Shimoyama turned around from the front passenger seat and asked again.
I'm sorry.
Yuki bowed her head in apology.
But you were very close to him, weren't you? You were his lover, and yet you heard nothing?
You know that cell phones don't work anymore, right?
There are plenty of ways to get in touch with someone besides a cell phone.
I really don't.
Nothing from his sister either?
Nothing.
By the way, I'm told you were researching something with Hashida-kun, Okabe-kun.
Huh? I wasn't sure how to react when the conversation suddenly turned toward me. Researching? Researching what? Uh-oh. If I panic, I'll make them suspicious.
What were you researching?
I would just have to give him the most harmless answer I could. Yeah, this guy's giving me, Soviet plant vibes. It wasn't really research. It was more like inventions.
Inventions?
Like whether you could attach a CCD camera to a bamboo copter to do aerial photography. Or whether you could use the heat from a vacuum cleaner as a hairdryer.
Oh, that's interesting. Then you weren't, say, making something unbelievable and running away from us so we wouldn't find out what it was?
That's pretty upfront, my guy.
Running away? That would be another reason why he was being escorted by a squad of soldiers. He was trying to escape and they were there to keep an eye on him, type of thing. Damn, I responded. That was a mistake. But did that mean that Daru and Suzuha were hiding from the SDF amidst all this chaos? The SDF had risked their lives to protect me over the past month. Yeah, you were a very important prisoner. Shouldn't I be asking them for help? I got even more confused.
If you don't know, then that's fine. We'll talk about Hashida-kun and his sister some other time.
Somebody, please tell me what the right answer is. How am I supposed to respond here?
Nakase Katsumi-san, there was something else I wanted to ask you.
Me?
This time, it was Fubuki's turn to jump up in her seat.
No, don't get so nervous. It's nothing big.
Or so Shimoyama said, but Fubuki was clearly starting to get scared. Her reaction was strange. It was too strong. Maybe the self-defense forces weren't simply protecting us. For one thing, there was no way normal civilians like us merited such important treatment. But then, what were they after? No, I could guess. The time machine. This war started with Russia's time machine experiments. And, of course, Nakabachi was involved. I'd learned from some of the soldiers that even in this world line, he'd sought asylum in Russia. And Suzuha was a time traveler from the year 2036. Hey, 10 years and a couple days from now. Suzuha was here in this era. That meant that it was Daru who had made the time machine that brought her here. If you had a time machine, you could change the outcome of this war. It would make sense if that's what the Japanese government thought, and if that was why they were trying to capture Daru, Suzuha, and their friends. Once I realized that, the whole situation started to feel terrifying to me. Was this car really headed towards the Okinawa Defense Bureau? And if it was, were they really going to keep us safe there?
About the physical you underwent last week.
Was there some problem?
No. You've almost recovered from the wounds you sustained in Tokyo. And health-wise, you're fine. But you're under a lot of stress.
Like being a civilian in a war zone?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's not surprising. You survived that terrible bombing. It's no exaggeration to say that most civilians have PTSD now. But it seems that your symptoms are a little different than most people's. You have very realistic dreams, for example. In particular severe instances, they could almost be called waking dreams. I'm told at times you lose the ability to tell the difference between dreams and reality.
Oh God, imagine what she's been through for the last month. Like, at least Okabe has the, knows basically what reading Steiner
Has some
does.
understanding, yeah.
She's been tossed into this for a month and has no idea what the fuck is going on.
Isn't that just PTSD, though? No, that's another thing.
Fubuki was too scared to speak, so Yuki interrupted curtly. It was rare to see Yuki act like this. If nothing else, I'd never seen it before. It was plain now. Yuki didn't trust Shimoyama. In fact, she considered him an enemy.
No, it's very strange.
Shimoyama paused a moment for effect, and then rubbed his chin.
There are others who say they have very similar dreams. And not just one or two. Of course, the degree to which they suffer from the problem changes, but we've found more than 10 in Japan alone.
And you've got 30% of them in this car?
They exist in other countries too. Well, we've only got information from the West.
That's just a coincidence, isn't it? Fubuki was incredibly frightened, so I spoke up in her place.
You've heard of Puchin, right?
Suddenly, Shimoyama turned his gaze towards me and asked me a question. Putin? The Soviet General Secretary, right? I almost said the President of Russia, but managed to stop myself. Yeah, they're talking about Putin. The Soviet Union still existed in this world line. Putin's title was General Secretary, not President. I heard that during my time at Aruma.
Correct. But interestingly enough, Nakase-san referred to him as the President of Russia.
What?
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not really what you'd call a good student.
No, that's not it. It's just one of the strange things about all the people who have had these dreams. They all call him President Putin. And they all call Gorbachev and Yeltsin president too. That's why the scientists have called it the President's Disease. Not a terribly clever name, if you ask me.
No way. Is he talking about reading Steiner? There was a strong chance that people besides me had that power, even if not as acutely. I'd never found out for sure, but what Varus had said in the Alpha World line certainly suggested it. So, it was certainly possible that Shimoyama's waking dreams were actually the effects of reading Steiner. If they were all aware of the world line's change a month ago, just like me, if Fubuki had the same memories of the other world line that I had, it would make perfect sense that she called Putin a president.
Gorbachev? Yeltsin?
You don't know them? Didn't they teach you that in world history?
I only took science classes in high school.
I thought everyone knew about them. Do kids today not know who they are? I find it hard to believe that you're that ignorant. I'm sure you know about Gorbachev and Yeltsin, right, Okabe-kun?
Yeah, I suppose so.
And Perestroika and the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Trick question?
Yeah, they were in the textbooks.
Oh.
The second after the words were out of my mouth, an alarm went off in my mind. Something was wrong. There was something strange about what Shimoyama was saying. Oh. And then I realized. The East and West were caught up in the middle of World War. How could the Berlin Wall have fallen? And could Gorbachev really execute Perestroika? By the time I realized he had tricked me, it was too late. My panic appeared on my face.
Huh? You too, huh? And you were deliberately trying to hide it, weren't you? So, the information was right after all. You know something important. Listen, Okabe-kun, I want you to tell me.
Shimoyama suddenly laughed. It was a bitter laugh, almost eerily so.
Gorbachev, Yeltsin, who are these people you all keep talking about? We don't have any data on them, and neither do any of the American intelligence agencies. That data doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist? I looked over at Yuki. From the look on her face, I could tell that she really had no idea who they were.
Perestroika? The fall of the Berlin Wall? Did these things really happen? Tell me, please.
But I couldn't answer. I was thinking of something completely different. I suddenly realized why the world line might have changed a month ago on Christmas Eve. What if Russia used the time machine that day in an experiment to change the past? The goal of the experiment would have been to stop the collapse of the Soviet Union. And if the result of their changing the past was this world line, how foolish. A single change to the past and the butterfly effect makes the entire world so different. Did they know how many people had died? I bet they didn't care.
Have you and your friends really experienced the history of a different world? I just can't believe it. It's just nonsense cooked up by some crazy scientist.
He was about to push me further when we heard the sound of an incoming call on a cell phone. Shimoyama grunted and took the phone out of his pocket.
This is Shimoyama. Yeah, we're on our way to the bureau. What? What do you mean? Damn it. That's the problem with these idiots. What country do these politicians think they're working for?
Shimoyama's fingers slammed down on the end call button so hard I thought the phone would break. There was a look of rage on his face.
We're changing our destination. Head to Kadena Base, Gate 2.
His words were filled with irritation as he spoke to the driver. Changing destinations? Who was he just talking to? As I sat there confused, Shimoyama started to call someone else.
This is Shimoyama. We're changing our destination. We'll meet at Gate 2 at Kadena Base.
That was all he said before he hung up.
What's going on?
The situation's changed. Okabe-kun is heading to a U.S. military base. From there, he might get to take a fun trip on a U.S. Air Force plane to America.
What? America?
I'll ask them to make sure you get first-class accommodations. But don't get your hopes up. They don't listen to us any more than you'd listen to a yapping pet dog.
Why America?
I don't know if it's CIA or the NSC, but someone wants us to hand you over.
You don't want to be in the grips of either of those.
But why? Maybe Karisu's involved.
Ask them yourself.
And then he turned back towards the front and fell silent, refusing to answer any of my questions. The car went down the road for a while until we got off at an exit that read South Okinawa. We stopped in front of the gate. Several US soldiers had evidently been waiting for my arrival.
Once we hand you over to the Americans, we're not going to get any accurate information from them. So, this is my last chance.
Shimoyama turned around from the front passenger seat and looked straight at me. His eyes were desperate and begging.
Tell me, what are we supposed to do from now on? Please.
I remembered all the soldiers in Tokyo who'd fought so desperately to protect me. Were they fighting to help someone else in Tokyo right now? Or were they already... I don't know.
Okabe-kun.
I really don't know. Do you think I can do something about this war all by myself? Knowing that Gorbachev and Yeltsin were presidents of Russia, or that they brought a dramatic end to the Cold War, that doesn't actually help anything. I could hear the sound of another car getting closer. Shimoyama sighed and opened the passenger side door.
Get out.
I exited the car as I was told.
Oh, Green!
The little hat!
Well, you know what she looks like without a hat, right?
Yes. Keep a hat on her.
Mayuri got out of the van behind us and ran over to me. Mayuri!
Oh, Green!
Nah. My childhood friend flung herself into my arms, and I held her tight.
I finally get to see you!
I'm so glad you're safe. I could feel her warmth. Mayuri was here. I'd never gone almost a whole month without seeing her before. And this was wartime. I couldn't easily contact her like I could in the old world line. So, I'd been so worried about whether or not Mayuri was okay. It was no exaggeration to say that I'd survived this far just to make sure. I'd erased the entire Alpha world line to save her. No matter what happened, I wanted her to be safe.
Oh, Corinne! You're hurting me!
I'm sorry. I'd held her too closely. I took a step back.
Mayushi believed, you know? Mayushi believed she'd get to see Okarin again.
Yeah. Your favorite character.
Oh god.
Hooray, you're safe, yeah.
Okabe-san!
First, with her hair down? She has hands?
Yep. I heard two more voices I recognized. Faris and Luca, and behind them, I saw Kaede. I'm glad you're all safe. Okabe-san. I'm... Luca-ko. I felt myself getting choked up too when I saw Lukako crying. But he's a dude. No,
Bah!
I exchanged greetings with Kaede too. Fubuki had grabbed onto her like a little kid. She was pale and trembling. Ferris, I guess you're not wearing your maid outfit for once.
It's been a long time since anyone's called me Forrest, yeah?
Faris spoke sadly. Then she put her hand around my neck and held me close. Her little pink lips got close to my ear, as if she was about to kiss me. Hey! What was going on?
Don't be so embarrassed, yeah?
In a world without Kurisu, did Okabe start dating Faris?
Terrifying.
She laughed mischievously. Then Akiha Rumiho whispered into my ear while pretending to kiss me.
Be careful. Don't trust the Ministry of Defense or the Americans. Adults are all liars. None of them tell the truth.
Yeah, I wonder if that last push by Shimoyama was honest or not, or if it was just another interrogation tactic. That's right. Faris had a special talent. Cheshire Break. She was incredibly good at looking into someone's heart and seeing what they were thinking. Yeah, I just figured that out. One of them just tricked me. Faris looked surprised and took a step back.
It's sad, yeah.
Yeah.
The girls went out of their way for this one. I wonder if Faris hired those soldiers. They're setting up a great show. I guess I shouldn't disappoint. No, wait. I'm not some shadow manipulator. That's how the organization operates. This is not me. This is not how Hoyen Koma operates. I don't need to hide my genius or act like some background NPC character. The world should know who I am. I need to say it proudly. I am Mad Scientist Toy.